For a team that lost a top 3-point guard and their offensive and defensive anchor, you wouldn't be an idiot to think that the Celtics will not be as good as they were last year. But that begs the question. Were the Boston Celtics really even that good last year? They for sure had the deepest roster in the entire NBA, and I don't really even think it's close. In all honesty, they might have the second best team overall. On paper, at least. All the talk last summer was that there were only two contenders in the league, that being Golden State and Boston. It was the general consensus of the public, and people were not stupid for thinking that either. That Celtics team the year prior had taken LeBron and the Cavs to a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals without having two of their three All-Stars. Yet, they were one game away from making it to the finals. That alone would be enough to make them contenders, if not favorites, for the year to follow.
What?
Yeah.
Bad news, Bill.
The Eastern Conference. I have some bad news. You're going to get your butts kicked this year by the Boston Celtics.
The entire Eastern
Does
Conference.
that include
Entire
Philly,
Eastern Conference.
So weird.
Indy, and
Boston
Milwaukee,
Celtics.
and Washington, and
They're going to win.
Toronto?
They're going to win 67 games, and they're going to be up by 30 points in a lot of them. And there's going to be a lot of high-fiving, and a lot of three-pointers.
A lot of ice on the knees.
A lot
of
just
hand
a lot,
shakes.
Sitting out the fourth
a
quarter.
lot of like people standing because the 12th man on the team dunked to put them up 40 with 2 minutes left.
They're going to lose
It's not gonna be
15
great.
games.
67 and 15.
Wow, that sounds like good news for my friend Bill Simmons.
Take the over.
I'm just
Then, LeBron joined the Lakers out west. That's perfect, right? That leaves no obstacles in their way, so how could they not make it to the finals? Anything less would be a failure. But they got gentlemen swept in the second round. Not exactly what we were all thinking when the year began. Hayward wasn't back to being his old self yet, following his injury. Kyrie was causing locker room issues by calling out his teammates and placing blame on the young guys and saying they don't know how to win yet. And Terry Rozier was too concerned with impressing teams individually so that he could get a big contract for next year. That's not what the Celtics needed from him. They needed him to be selfless, and they needed him to buy in to what the team was doing, the system, so that they could be as effective as possible. But that stuff didn't happen, and it's fair to say there was lots of chemistry issues, and that can't possibly contribute to a good culture where everyone's happy and wants to play for each other. That changes, though, when Kyrie and Rozier leave. The Celtics find the best fit they could ask for: Kemba Walker. Just a little note here, I am a Hornets fan, so I know what I'm talking about when I talk about Kemba. Also, F in the comments for respects. Kemba Walker is literally everything that Kyrie is as a basketball player. Same handles, similar three ball, similar scorer, except Kemba comes with humility. Kemba does not carry an ego. He is a true competitor who can lead a team not only on the floor but in the locker room. I mean, if you think about it, for any team in the league that you would have your star talk about how they didn't have enough help or throw teammates under the bus, wouldn't it be on the Charlotte Hornets? Wouldn't it? So I'm just saying, he will be the opposite of what Kyrie Irving's locker room presence was, and he will be everything that Boston thought they were trading for in 2017. With Kyrie, the ball stopped, and he isolated a lot. But that style of play doesn't fit the roster. The best style of play that fits the Celtics roster would be a ball movement system. And although Kemba did isolate a lot, and he was very ball dominant in Charlotte, that's really because that's what we needed from him. We didn't have another way to score effectively. And so I just think it's going to be different on the Celtics team. I know it's going to be different on the Celtics team, where there's lots of shot creators, and Kemba doesn't have to isolate all the time. Kemba's off-ball numbers are really, really pretty good, and it's just a shame that Kemba wasn't able to utilize that side of his game in Charlotte. But I think he will really thrive here. I think he could be an MVP candidate if the Celtics outperform what most people think they will. And I think they'll outperform what most people think they will. So I would have Kemba as probably top 6 or 7 MVP candidate by the end of the year. Let's move on to Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward really determines how high this team's ceiling is. If he doesn't look like he can return to his pre-injury Utah Jazz days, then this team will not be able to advance past even the second rounds. But if he can be the scorer, and more importantly, the defender that he was, this team could maybe even challenge the Bucks or the Sixers. Now, I say his defense is more important to this team because, like I said before, they lost out Horford, and to a lesser extent, Aaron Baines. Al Horford was their offensive and defensive anchor. He literally created from the post. He could space the floor. He was the versatile defender who could guard Giannis. It was wild, and losing that is impactful. And I think that they're going to need everyone to step up to be able to come close to what Horford gave them defensively. And replacing him with Enes Kanter is it's not going to work. They got much worse defensively. But they do still have top tier defenders in Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, but they will need no less than one more defender with size to be able to stop top tier teams. But if they can get Hayward's offense back too, this team will be potent on offense. So I think there were some pretty huge subtractions, but I think that by the same token, there were some additions by subtraction. That being swapping Kyrie for Kemba. Although Kemba is a lesser player, he fits their role better. Hayward, if he becomes anything close to like what he was in Utah, I think this team can progress pretty far. Tatum's got another year under his belt, and he's not going to clash with as many people. And all these Celtics that have been at Team USA, they all seem to like each other, and the way that they're interacting with each other, it feels like they're already building good chemistry, so that's also going to be another pro for them. I don't see anyone causing any locker room issues, so this should be a pretty smooth year, I think, and that will be very different from last year, and I think that will contribute to a lot of wins. So if I had to give a standing prediction, I would probably say they're going to end up third in the East, and they will be stopped probably only by Milwaukee or Philadelphia. I think everyone else is below them. Okay, well, thank you guys very much for watching. My next video is probably going to be on the Lakers. I know I said I was going to do the Raptors, but I lied. I'm not going to do the Raptors. I changed my mind. Doing the Lakers. Lakers more interesting. So look forward to that. When basketball season starts up, I'll be on Twitter a lot. Follow me if you like that kind of thing. And yeah, thank you very much.